welcome to another match of Temur Tarmodrazi. Today we are playing Blue-Red Breach. Opening hand, very bad, no green sources, basically can't cast anything. This hand is slightly better. We do have Eldrazi Temple, and we have two ways to dig for mana, so mana or threats, I should say, so that's a keep. I usually start with an Ancient Stirring. And we obviously will be taking Thought-Knot here. We have enough lands to cast it comfortably. So, a good start. Our opponent pays 2 life to have Steam Vents untapped, which is interesting. Probably thinking we're going to be playing a creature that they can remove, but no, they just played Opt. So we are going to attempt to cast a Thought-Knot. Oh, I guess not. I guess I was playing it safe here. I want to, I guess, try and bait out some form of permission. Yeah, so I was being cautious here because our opponent has a bunch of blue mana untapped. Generally means that there is something they're waiting to use against us. Just like that. So we got Archmage Charm. Thought-Knot Seer goes away. Luckily we have a second Thought-Knot Seer. I mean, at this point we have to try. If they have permission, they have the permission. They do. Now I obviously put Thought-Knot Seer first to try and draw out the permission. If it does come, that means we could now cast Reality Smasher comfortably. Looks like our opponent is thinking if they want to counter our Thought-Knot Seer or not. I think it would be a mistake to not counter it, but we'll see. Okay, Remand. Alright. Yeah, that's great. Let's see if they have another Remand. Looks like it. Alrighty. Well, our opponent is using up all their permission. That's fine, let them do it. Always interesting to see what it feels like when you're on the receiving end of this much permission. Okay, so no permission. They're just flashing in Omen of the Sea. Fine. I guess they see the writing on the wall that inevitably. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna take out Archmage Charm. Through the Breach right now is not a concern. They have nothing else apart from lands. Yeah, and we don't want our Reality Smashers countered. So now we can swing in for 9 damage. Looks like they top deck an Archmage Charm. So, okay. Whatever. We're still going to come in for 5. That was a good top deck by the opponent. They're going down to 9. They don't know that we have another Reality Smasher. So if they don't find their answer here and they have no permission, it's game. Let's see. Suppose I'm thinking here. Mostly this would seem like a waste of time for Mishra's Bauble, but I just want to see what's next. on our opponent's deck. Snapcaster Mage, not what I wanted to see. Either way, it's not really going to change our game plan here. We're going to try and resolve Reality Smasher. And our opponent has all of the charms. Of course, that's because of their land. And we were missing that. So that was something I was obviously not seeing initially. But what we can do here, luckily, is cast Uro. Escape him at least. This is going to help us close out the game. Lightning Bolt is actually a very good draw here. So essentially, if we survive our opponent's next turn, it's game over. Yeah, so they're digging. Scrying 2. They bottomed, so still looking for their answer. Okay, they're going to keep digging. Let's see if they find it. I mean, at this point, we're at the mercy of what our opponent top decks. We have plenty of answers on our end. Okay, they're through the breaching. They found their answer. Emrakul. Now, what's interesting here is I don't think it's enough. We've gained 6 life from Uro. So, funnily enough, our opponent gets to cast through the breach, and we still survive. We technically just need 1 creature to live, but I think we're going to manage to live with more than that. We also have Lightning Bolt, so I think our opponent gives up. Yep. That was hilarious. We survived an Emrakul. So let's just take a moment there to type F to our opponent. It would seem that removal is less important right now. Grafdigger's Cage would help shut down Snapcaster Mage. That's at least my thinking. But looking at our sideboard options, what do we really have? This game does have the potential to stall out, but I mean we're mostly well equipped in the main board. Swapping 1 Uro for Clothis is just our way of trying to speed things up in terms of killing our opponent, and again, getting out of range of being one-shotted by Emrakul. Opening hand is fair. 2 Eldrazi Temples are fine, even though we don't have Eldrazi in our hand. We have Serum Vision, so we can go and search for an Eldrazi if necessary. Let's see if our Noble Hierarch eats a bolt. It will. That's bad. Okay, we don't have access to blue right now. Yeah, that's bad. So we are essentially in top deck mode. So this is not a good turn of events for us. Relic of Progenitus also sucks. That's not necessarily something we want to see. But at the moment, not a big issue. We draw another Stubborn Denial. Again, not what we want. We want to draw blue producing land. Yeah. Can't do much there. So we're going to have to start exiling cards from our graveyard, and all of a sudden we can start feeling the pressure. So we get our breeding pool. Is it enough? Here I'm trying to think, should I put down a potential threat? But Relic of Progenitus is going to fight our Clothis right now. So we have 2 threats on top, so we're keeping both, obviously. I want to bring out Reality Smasher first because it's going to have a greater impact at the moment. So our Noble Hierarch is going to get bolted. Thanks to Snapcaster Mage. Issue here is our opponent now has a lot of land untapped, and they no doubt have permission in hand. I'd be shocked if they didn't. So we can cast Reality Smasher, but, you know, at a risk. So I'm going for the Euro plan instead. See if we can draw out some permission at least. No permission. It'll give us some health. It'll give us some life and a card draw. We draw our Tarmogoyf as well. So our opponent did have permission in hand, so we know what would have happened if we tried to cast Reality Smasher. Let's see what happens. Now because of our Noble Heart getting bolted, we got a slow start. Our opponent now has Archmage's Charm again in their hand, so this is going to be an uphill battle at this point. They kind of have a lock here. Now we can try and cast Tarmogoyf, see if it'll you know, act like a bullseye for permission, but it looks like Clothis. We're trying to see if Clothis is going to be the sacrificial lamb here. Okay, Remand. So they also have Remand in hand. Can't do much there. I'm being very protective of our only two main threats. Our opponent's going to draw 2 more cards. I don't know why I was thinking I wanted to fight there. There'd be no point. Yep. So we're getting the Snapcaster beatdown here. We draw land. Again, this is rough because we know our opponent has permission in hand. So what do we do? Best we can do here at this point is cast Tarmogoyf. If it gets countered, it gets countered. We need to land a threat. Cryptic Command. Oh, he chose not to do Cryptic Command, which is interesting. Probably because he wants to bounce draw. Unfortunately, our Tarmogoyf is only a 3/4, so we wouldn't be able to. We wouldn't be able to use Stubborn Denial with Ferocious in this case. That was also a misplay. So when the last time our opponent activated Relic, we removed Mishra's Bauble. I don't believe our opponent has a creature in his graveyard, so I don't think it would have made a difference. But yeah, they don't have a creature, so it wouldn't have made a difference. So I guess this is not a misplay. Unfortunately, it is what it is. We just had a 3/4 Tarmogoyf. So we're gonna bolt Snapcaster here while our opponent's casting Archmage's Charm. And that move now makes Mishra Bauble Exile a misplay because we could have had counter magic here. And our opponent takes care of our Tarmogoyf. So that's another play that we also miss. So, plenty of misplays here. Probably kicking myself. If I had at the very least countered Lightning Bolt, they would not have had the mana to sacrifice Relic of Progenitus, but it is what it is. Now the game's still not over, but they have permission in hand, so this is going to be very, very rough. The best we can do is try and take out their Snapcaster so they could start beating us down. They could stop beating us down. But it looks like I'm choosing the Clothis path again. They're going to Cryptic Command. which is not a surprise. Now we're going to try and resolve Reality Smasher, yeah, which, I mean, nothing else we can do here. And it's game. I mean, I think I'm trying to see this game out, but that's essentially game over. No more threats. Our opponent will get what they need to attack in. There you go. Now, with Through the Breach, there's no more point in seeing the game out. So, I played suboptimally in game 2. I just did. Graphthinker's Cage is actually important, so we just need to turn off their Snapcasters. It's too painful. Given the level of permission that our opponent has, their whole game plan is just to counter, 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 and then play their spell and win. It's essentially a combo deck. So, Graphthinker's Cage is going to help us out a bit. Again, not much else we can swap in and out here. There really isn't. Our opening hand is not enough. It's just not enough. We have tools in there, but they're too slow. So this hand is slightly better. Even if Noble Hierarch does eat a bolt, at least we have Traverse this time. We can go for a blue land. That's fine. We can go for a blue land, Serum Visions, and dig for more threats. So we know we kept this mulligan with that in mind. There you go. So we have Reality Smasher. Stubborn Denial is kind of useful, so it's not something we necessarily want to lose. And we did draw a Breeding Pool. So we'll play our Tarmogoyf. We'll have Stubborn Denial up. If they play a 2-mana spell, yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, I mean, this is not something we want to Stubborn Denial, right? We want to Stubborn Denial something that is Through the Breach. That's essentially the only real card we want to target, unless it's a counter spell that we need to get around. And now Tarmogoyf is a 4/5, which means Ferocious is active on our Stubborn Denial, so things are going our way at the moment. Now we're going to try and resolve a Reality Smasher. It does. That's great. We don't have to waste permission to try and save it. Snapcaster Mage. What are they trying to get here? They're trying to get a Lightning Bolt. So they're going to try and block our Tarmogoyf. And then bolt it. Now this is a tough choice. Do we allow our Tarmogoyf to die and keep our Stubborn Denial? Or... yeah, so I chose here to save our Tarmogoyf. Again, it could be very risky because they can cast Through the Breach right now and it's game. Well, not yet, but soon. We draw a land off the top, not what we wanted. I would much prefer to threat. Cryptic Command's going to slow us down. They're going to tap draw. We're going to play our land. See how much longer our opponent can do that. Now, if we draw a Lightning Bolt, it's game over if our opponent can't stop us. But then again, our opponent can cast Through the Breach right now, and it could also be game over. So, again, bit risky. Let's see what we draw. Okay, so it seems like we're going to get our Tarmogoyf to bolt it twice. That's interesting. Feels like a desperate move, but I can't fault him. We draw Ancient Stirrings. That's great. Let's see if we whiff or if we can find a threat. We whiffed. Exactly not what we want to see right now. At this point in the game where a threat is desperately needed. But it is what it is. At least we went through 5 cards that we really didn't want. If you think about it, that was 5 turns of just utter garbage in respects to draws. Now, our opponent needs an answer immediately. like right now. Cryptic commands on the top of their library. They need to find a way to draw it if they are going to delay this game any further. We are at the mercy of our opponent at this point. We have no way of stopping them. We're going to fetch, not because we need a land right now, but because we don't want to draw any more lands. We really, really don't. And we draw more lands, which is fantastic. It's exactly what we didn't want. I feel like we're going to get... Okay, our opponent is, yeah, going to draw Cryptic Command. Smart. He topped as well. Not happy about that. So we're getting Fog twice. Very annoying. We're drawing lands. Very annoying. We do not need these many lands at all. We're drawing a large amount of our land in the deck right now. But it is what it is. Okay, so our opponent paying 2 life. They are not afraid of lightning. Okay, so they're gonna Snapcaster, Cryptic Command. Fine. Do they let us draw? They do. Oh, that was the mistake. They shouldn't have let us draw. Yeah. So now Nana Leak comes in and we win the game. So that was definitely a misplay on our opponent's end, which is fine. Is GG. Yeah. And there it is. And that's game. So we won that match. What have we learned? Okay, so this was obviously a game that I played earlier on when I first got back to Temur Tarmodrazi. Game 2 was just horrible and embarrassing, but we've all been there. Game 3, we were kind of playing the same game our opponent was playing, in the sense that we're at the mercy of our top deck. That whiff on the Ancient Stirrings was just a window into the potential 5 turns of bad draws we were going to get. We also did Mana Flood. We're not a land-heavy deck. We're only playing 19 lands. But we Mana Flooded hard. If we didn't Mana Flood that hard, we would have been able to close out that game a bit quicker. At least for Game 3. But we made it. I think this is a relatively good match for us, unless our opponent has the nuts in terms of starting hand, which is rare. You know, I think we have a relatively good control. Our permission package is sufficient for the most part. And hey, game 1 we survived Emrakul, which many people can't say the same. So that definitely felt good. I hope this match was entertaining to watch. If you enjoyed it, please like it. Please like the video. Please subscribe if you want to see more videos as I post them. I'm aiming to post a video every 2 days. And soon enough, I'll be switching to new decks. So yeah, stay tuned, and thanks for watching.